The Master and Journeyman Electrician examinations are not open book. Candidates are allowed to use the National Electrical Code, or NEC, during the exam. The Master's exam typically has 100 questions. The Journeyman exam typically has 75 questions. The exams cover a wide range of electrical topics, including NEC requirements, electrical theory, wiring methods, equipment installation, and safety regulations. The Master's exam may include questions on electrical design, project management, and business practices. The Journeyman exam may include questions on local electrical codes and ordinances. To prepare, thoroughly study the NEC and other relevant materials. Practice answering exam-style questions. Familiarize yourself with the exam format and time limits. Arrive at the exam well-rested and prepared. Let's delve deeper into the specifics of the exams and how to best prepare for them. First, understanding the National Electrical Code, NEC, is absolutely crucial. This isn't just about knowing where to find answers, but understanding the underlying principles. The NEC is updated regularly, so be sure you're using the latest edition. Secondly, electrical theory is fundamental. You should have a solid grasp of concepts like Ohm's law, Kirchhoff's laws, series and parallel circuits, and AC versus DC circuits. Many exam questions will require you to apply these principles to real-world scenarios. Thirdly, wiring methods are a practical area that you need to be proficient in. This includes understanding different types of cables, conduits, and wiring terminations. You should also be familiar with the proper techniques for installing wiring in various environments, ensuring compliance with the NEC. Fourthly, equipment installation is another critical area. You need to know how to properly install and connect different types of electrical equipment, such as transformers, motors, and generators. Pay close attention to grounding and bonding requirements, as these are essential for safety. Fifthly, safety regulations are paramount. Electrical work can be dangerous, so it's essential to understand and follow all applicable safety regulations. This includes wearing appropriate personal protective equipment, using lockout/tagout procedures, and being aware of potential hazards. In addition to these core topics, the Master's exam may also include questions on electrical design, project management, and business practices. The electrical design involves calculating the appropriate size of conductors, overcurrent protection devices, and other electrical components. Project management involves planning, organizing, and coordinating electrical projects to ensure they are completed on time and within budget. Business practices involve understanding the legal and ethical aspects of running an electrical contracting business. The Journeyman exam may include questions on local electrical codes and ordinances. These codes and ordinances may vary from place to place, so it's important to be familiar with the specific requirements in your area. To prepare for the exams, start by thoroughly studying the NEC. Don't just memorize code sections, but try to understand the underlying principles. Next, practice answering exam-style questions. This will help you to become familiar with the types of questions that are asked in the exam and to identify any areas where you need to improve. You can find practice questions in study guides and online resources. Before the exam, familiarize yourself with the exam format and time limits. This will help you to manage your time effectively during the exam. Finally, arrive at the exam well rested and prepared. This will help you to stay focused and alert during the exam. Here's a more detailed breakdown of the key areas you should focus on when preparing for your electrician's exam. Firstly, National Electrical Code, NEC proficiency. The NEC is your primary resource. Understand its structure, how to navigate it quickly, and how to interpret its rules. Pay special attention to articles related to general wiring, overcurrent protection, grounding and bonding, wiring methods, equipment for general use, special occupancies, and special equipment. Learn to use the index effectively to quickly find relevant sections. Secondly, electrical theory. Solidify your understanding of fundamental electrical concepts. This includes Ohm's law, power calculations, series and parallel circuits, AC and DC principles, inductance, capacitance, and transformer theory. Practice solving problems related to voltage drops, current flow, and power dissipation. Thirdly, blueprint reading and interpretation. Develop your ability to read and interpret electrical blueprints and diagrams. Be able to identify symbols, understand circuit layouts, and determine the location of electrical equipment. Practice interpreting single-line diagrams, rhizo diagrams, and control schematics. Fourthly, wiring methods and materials. Become familiar with various wiring methods, including conduit systems, cable types, and wiring terminations. Understand the proper application of each wiring method and the NEC requirements for their installation. Know the ampacity ratings of different conductors and the appropriate uses for different types of insulation. Fifthly, grounding and bonding. Master the principles of grounding and bonding to ensure electrical safety. Understand the difference between equipment grounding and system grounding. Be able to identify and install grounding electrodes, grounding conductors, and bonding jumpers. Know the NEC requirements for grounding different types of equipment and systems. Sixthly, overcurrent protection. Understand the purpose of overcurrent protection devices such as fuses and circuit breakers. Be able to calculate the appropriate size of overcurrent protection devices for various circuits and equipment. Know the NEC requirements for overcurrent protection of conductors, motors, and transformers. Seventhly, motor controls. Learn the basics of motor control circuits, including starting, stopping, and protecting motors. Understand the operation of different types of motor starters, such as across-the-line starters, reduced voltage starters, and variable frequency drives. Be able to troubleshoot motor control circuits and identify common problems. Eighthly, transformers. Study the theory and operation of transformers. Understand the different types of transformers, such as step-up transformers, step-down transformers, and isolation transformers. Be able to calculate transformer voltage ratios, current ratios, and power ratings. Ninthly, safety practices. Emphasize safety in all aspects of electrical work. Know the hazards associated with electricity and how to avoid them. Follow lockout/tagout procedures when working on electrical equipment. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as safety glasses, gloves, and insulated tools. Tenthly, calculations. Practice performing electrical calculations accurately and efficiently. Be able to calculate voltage drops, conductor ampacity, conduit fill, and short-circuit currents. Use the NEC tables and appendices to find relevant information and apply it to your calculations. Here are some additional tips to help you prepare for the exam. Firstly, create a study schedule. Allocate specific times for studying each topic and stick to your schedule as closely as possible. Break down large topics into smaller, more manageable chunks. Secondly, use multiple resources. Don't rely solely on one textbook or study guide. Consult multiple sources to gain a more comprehensive understanding of the material. Consider using online resources, such as practice exams and video tutorials. Thirdly, take practice exams. Practice exams are an essential part of your preparation. They help you to become familiar with the exam format, identify your strengths and weaknesses, and improve your time management skills. Take several practice exams under timed conditions to simulate the actual exam environment. Fourthly, review your mistakes. After taking a practice exam, carefully review your mistakes. Understand why you got the answer wrong and what you need to do to correct your understanding. Focus on the areas where you consistently make mistakes. Fifthly, join a study group. Studying with others can be a great way to learn and stay motivated. Join a study group with other aspiring electricians and discuss challenging topics, share study tips, and quiz each other on key concepts. Sixthly, get plenty of rest. Make sure you get plenty of rest in the days leading up to the exam. Being well rested will help you to stay focused and alert during the exam. Avoid cramming the night before the exam. Seventhly, eat a healthy meal. Eat a healthy meal before the exam to give you energy and help you to concentrate. Avoid sugary foods and drinks as they can lead to energy crashes. Eighthly, arrive early. Arrive at the exam location early to give yourself time to relax and get settled. This will also give you time to review your notes one last time. Ninthly, read the instructions carefully. Before you start the exam, carefully read the instructions. Make sure you understand the exam format, time limits, and scoring system. Tenthly, manage your time effectively. During the exam, manage your time effectively. Don't spend too much time on any one question. If you're stuck on a question, move on and come back to it later if you have time. Here's some more on the NEC itself. Firstly, understand the purpose and scope of the NEC. The NEC is a comprehensive set of standards and guidelines for the safe installation of electrical wiring and equipment. It is intended to protect people and property from electrical hazards. Secondly, familiarize yourself with the NEC organization. The NEC is divided into chapters, articles, and sections. Chapters cover broad topics such as general requirements, wiring and protection, wiring methods and materials, equipment for general use, special occupancies, and special equipment. Articles cover specific subjects within each chapter, such as grounding and bonding, overcurrent protection, and wiring methods. Sections provide detailed requirements for specific installations and equipment. Thirdly, learn how to navigate the NEC. The NEC is a detailed table of contents and index that could help you find the information you need. Use these resources to quickly locate relevant sections. Fourthly, understand the NEC terminology. The NEC uses specific terminology to describe electrical equipment and installations. Be familiar with these terms to accurately interpret the code. Fifthly, pay attention to the NEC mandatory rules and permissive rules. Mandatory rules are indicated by the word shall and must be followed. Permissive rules are indicated by the word may and are allowed but not required. Sixthly, be aware of the NEC exceptions. The NEC includes exceptions to some rules. These exceptions are intended to provide flexibility in certain situations. However, it is important to carefully review the exceptions to ensure that they apply to your specific installation. Seventhly, understand the NEC enforcement. The NEC is typically enforced by local electrical inspectors. Inspectors have the authority to approve or reject electrical installations. Eighthly, keep up to date with the NEC. The NEC is updated every 3 years. It is important to stay current with the latest edition of the NEC to ensure that your electrical installations comply with the latest requirements. Ninthly, use the NEC in conjunction with other resources. The NEC is not a substitute for proper training and experience. Use the NEC in conjunction with other resources, such as textbooks, study guides, and online resources, to gain a comprehensive understanding of electrical installations. Tenthly, practice applying the NEC. The best way to learn the NEC is to practice applying it to real-world scenarios. Work through examples and practice problems to develop your ability to interpret and apply the code. Consider these real-world examples. Firstly, sizing conductors for a branch circuit. The NEC provides tables that specify the ampacity of different conductors based on their size, insulation type, and installation method. To size conductors for a branch circuit, you need to determine the load that the circuit will serve and then select conductors with an ampacity rating that is sufficient to carry that load. Secondly, grounding and bonding a metal enclosure. The NEC requires that metal enclosures be grounded and bonded to ensure electrical safety. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to trip the overcurrent protection device and prevent electrical shock. Bonding connects metal enclosures together to create a low impedance path for fault current. Thirdly, installing overcurrent protection for a motor. The NEC provides specific requirements for overcurrent protection of motors. The overcurrent protection device must be sized to protect the motor from overload and short circuit conditions. The size of the overcurrent protection device depends on the motor's horsepower, voltage, and full load current. Fourthly, wiring a swimming pool. The NEC has specific requirements for wiring swimming pools to protect people from electrical shock. These requirements include the use of ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, and the bonding of all metal parts of the pool structure. Fifthly, installing a generator. The NEC has specific requirements for installing generators to ensure that they are safely connected to the electrical system. These requirements include the use of a transfer switch to prevent backfeeding and the proper grounding of the generator. These examples illustrate the importance of understanding and applying the NEC to ensure the safety of electrical installations. By studying the NEC thoroughly and practicing applying it to real-world scenarios, you can increase your chances of success on the electrician exam. Remember, the key to success is preparation. Start studying early, use multiple resources, and practice answering exam-style questions. And don't forget to get plenty of rest and arrive at the exam well rested and prepared.